Good morning. Thank you for joining us today as we launch the Boost Mississippi pilot program for manufacturers in Appalachian region area of Mississippi. Um, we are very excited about our program and can't wait to share that information with you. Um, Travis, are you controlling the slides?
Is that Tanya sharing?
Okay, all right. I am Sandy Chris. I am the director of the Manufacturing Extension Partnership Program for Mississippi. We are part of the Mississippi Manufacturers Association, soon to be the Mississippi Business Alliance. I'm sure many of you have heard about that. Our program is one of 51 state manufacturing partnership programs across the country. We are funded out of the National Institutes for Standards of Technology, out of the Department of Commerce. And our goal and our task is to provide technical assistance to small and medium manufacturers, as well as training and support. We do that in Mississippi through partners like Mississippi State CAV Center, the Mississippi Polymer Institute, Northeast Community College, as well as ICC and Pearl River Community College. We're also part of a national network. You can see the map. Every state has a center, and so we work very closely with other states to make sure that we're bringing best practices and that we have access to other information and resources that are helpful to our manufacturers in the state of Mississippi. And this program has been around for over 25 years. And I've been in this position for about 3.5 years. And I think the folks on the call have been with the program as well. So before we get started, I want to take a minute to recognize and introduce Andrea Rose. And I know most people in here probably know Andrea. She has been the director of the Appalachian Regional Commission program for Mississippi. And without her support at ARC, the Boost Mississippi pilot would not be possible. So I'd just like to let her say a few words about ARC and thank her for being here this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. I am getting a flat tire fixed at the car dealership, so I apologize. But my name is Andrea Rose, and I serve as Governor Reeves' director for the Appalachian Regional Office here in Mississippi. We are so proud to support this program through funding from the Appalachian Regional Commission, which is designed to support economic development by advancing regional infrastructure and supporting innovation at our businesses and industry. Today's webinar is a great opportunity to learn how this Boost initiative can help your business adopt automation. On behalf of Governor Reeves, Mississippi Development Authority, and the Appalachian Regional Commission, thank you for joining MSU's CAV's Boost Pilot Program webinar today to learn about how you can take advantage of this program to continue the work that you do to invest in and improve the business ecosystem in Mississippi and our region. And now that I've finished reading my official remarks, I do want to especially thank Sandy and Tanya, who really came up with this great idea over a year ago and worked tirelessly to make it fit into this so that they could support the businesses and industries, particularly the small to mid, who sometimes there's not as much support that's given. And we really hope that this is something that you can add to your toolbox and increase the revenue for your businesses, adopt some new technology, and really move Mississippi advanced manufacturing even further into the future.
Thank you, Andrea. We appreciate your support, and Tanya and I appreciate your help in getting this grant put together so that we can work with our manufacturers in this ARC region. On today's agenda, we're going to give you a quick Boost Mississippi overview. I'm going to talk about what the program is, what the value of that program is to manufacturers. Tanya and her team are going to give you an in-depth look at what the phases are in this program, what it means for manufacturing, and how you can get involved. So you're also going to hear from training partners on the call on how we're going to support this through training and implementation. So it's a great opportunity for manufacturers in the Appalachian region, and we're looking forward to sharing this information with you. Next slide, Tanya. So for the last several years, Tanya and I have been in discussions about what can we do for existing manufacturers in our state. We do a great job bringing in new manufacturers, but there's some issues that we've come up when we're working with our small and medium manufacturers on helping them move to that next level. So we want to support manufacturers in the identification and selection of technology through this Boost Mississippi program. So it's designed to help companies either automate through digital literacy, through other types of technology that are out there, basically to boost your production and your efficiencies as your outputs. So we have a $994,000 ARC grant. The total grant and the total investment in this program is $1.4 million. Our timeline is September through July 2027, so we have a little bit less than 2 years. It will serve 25 manufacturers in the Appalachian Region Commission area, and we will have at least 150, or we hope to have at least 150 plus workers trained in those 24 counties. So it's not just telling you about the program. We're going to help you walk through the steps, and Tanya's going to talk to you more about what that looks like. Your eligibility, next slide, Tanya. Your eligibility to be part of this program is, of course, you have to be in one of the 24 ARC counties. You have to have a manufacturing NAICS code, which is 31 through 33. So it's very broad on who we can work with. And your manufacturers have to have less than 500 employees. What we have found is that many companies, smaller or medium companies, don't necessarily have staff on board that can help them work through the processes, make good decisions as far as automation, because there's a lot of new technologies out there, and it's hard to keep up with that, especially if you don't have dedicated personnel to do that. Tanya, if you'll go to the next slide. So what our goal is to provide technical assistance for 25 manufacturers, on-site assessments, customized technology roadmaps, training, and assistance in implementing these new tools. So it's not just a matter of coming in and doing an assessment, telling you what you need to do. They're going to walk you through this process from the beginning to the end. It's a great opportunity for any manufacturer to have the expertise of CAVS at their facility, with a new set of engineering eyes to help them look at this from a holistic standpoint. The other goal of this is we would like to use this as a proof of concept for future funding. In our research, we found that many states have already done this, and I'm going to share that with you. But we want to show that if there is targeted funding through partnerships like ARC, Accelerate, MMA, MEP, that we can remove barriers to technology adoption. A lot of companies just don't know. It's overwhelming when you think about where do I even start when I'm implementing technology. CAVS has the staff to do that, to help you walk through those steps. So our goal is future funding for this, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So some of the other states that, you can go to the next slide, Tanya, that some of the other states have set up programs similar to Boost Mississippi. In our research, and these are just 5 of the states that we found, there are over 15 states that have programs similar to the Boost Mississippi pilot that we're going to be running. But they are either voucher or match granting programs that provide technical assistance and direct capital support for Industry 4.0 upgrades. Now, the Boost Mississippi pilot does not include capital support, but we would like to take the lessons we learned from the Boost Mississippi pilot and our proof of concept back to the legislature or other funding partners to say, hey, if we had funding, we could help our companies increase operations, increase their efficiencies in production through a match program. So, for example, you can see there's different states do this differently, but they have awards set aside where you can apply for grants to help pay for capital investments or technical training. We would like to see that for Mississippi, and that is our ultimate goal. Aside from helping 25 employers do this, we want to ultimately be able to open this up to the state. So if you'll go to the next slide, Tanya. So in this process, we will be collecting data, and we collect this data already through MEP, but we'll be looking at, did we create jobs or retain jobs? What kind of cost savings was for the company? what kind of productivity gains did this company have, and what kind of technology was adopted. And through that information and our proof of concept, we hope to take that back to hopefully receive some recurring funding. Tanya McCall is going to walk you through the details of the program and the steps of this program, but we want to just reinforce that this is a great opportunity for manufacturers to participate in. I know we have a lot of economic developers on the call, and we want you to help us reach out to manufacturers in your community so that we can make sure we get really good information, really good data to take back to our funding partners so that we can continue a program like this. Tanya's going to walk you through the steps and the phases of the implementation, and I think I'm going to turn it over to you, Tanya.
All right, sounds good. So one of the things that we've grappled with, I think, in the state of Mississippi is these conversations about technology. And over the past few years, we've been able to have those types of conversations between all different companies, small, medium, and large, talking about kind of common goals and common barriers to implementing technology. So this grant, this proposal, I think is very near and dear to our hearts because it provides at least the technical assistance side that's needed in order to meet the vision and the mission that we have for this program. So very glad to be here. Again, Sandy introduced me, Tanya McCall. If you're not familiar with me, I'm the director of MSU Cavs Extension. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the details and what we do. So real quick, if you're not familiar with Cavs Extension, we're actually headquartered in Canton, Mississippi. We have satellite locations at the Communiversity and also on the coast where we have engineering support. So we try to span the state of Mississippi in providing services. And so it was important to us, as we think about this, to develop this program and also this team in order to help facilitate the work that we have to do. As Sandy mentioned, there's been a lot of problems with really understanding and getting to a point where we can get capital investment. So this is a starting point for us to be able to provide this technical assistance. So here is our smart manufacturing team. This is a pool of resources at our unit that are available to help support this program, and we can't do it without these individuals. So Billy Peacock, who you'll hear from here shortly, as he talks about some of the technology transformation maps. Harry Kitchens, one of our engineers that's located up at the Communiversity. Jonathan Howe with a strong automation background located here in Canton, and Travis Hill with a strong simulation background and leading into digital twins. In addition, we have 2 current job openings where we'll be hiring a couple more people to our staff to help facilitate this program so that we're able to address all these things in a timely manner. The first 3 individuals on this list now have achieved a SESME certification. So that's a certification through the Smart Manufacturing Institute that took them through all of the training that was necessary in order to propagate and create and deliver programs like this. So we're very excited about how they'll use those resources in order to move this forward. Here's a little bit about our background. So probably around 2021, 22 timing, Billy and I started having conversations about interest from the furniture industry in automation. And for those that understand the furniture industry, it's very manual. So for them to be at a point in which they're interested in automation, we began to think about our other companies in the state, do they have that interest as well? That led to us submitting a proposal and getting awarded from Accelerate Mississippi, a program that was our I-4.0 Skills Accelerator program. We started that program in 2022, and that program is ending, but it was to stand up our cell lab, which you actually see in one of the videos on the screen, and then also stand up some of the training that we felt like would be an introduction to Industry 4.0. From there went assessments, also included in some of the body of work that we already do as things like simulation and lean automation. That's also led us to create additional services with Power BI and Power Apps and Power Automate. So all of this is really giving us a good background to help support the technology portion this technical assistance project. In addition to that, we have wide resources that are available in a lot of these Industry 4.0 areas. So this slide is just to give you a little bit of the breadth of knowledge that MSU has. We'll be leaning upon some of our other divisions to help us along. So you'll see ISER, our Institute of Systems Engineering Research, that really handles a lot of the big data and also kind of the augmented and virtual reality. You'll see ACI, who is our Advanced Composites Institute, that really hones in on the additive manufacturing part, especially with composites. So this is a real partnership that we're trying to develop within MSU to provide services that our manufacturers need. And in the top corner, you'll see what we're trying to do with regards to artificial intelligence and machine learning. Those things are coming and coming with the force. So we're trying to make sure that we've got resources to help support those types of projects in the scope of this Boost Mississippi program as well. This gives you an overview of the phases. So there are typically about 4 phases in this project. It starts out with the assessment phase, which is an Industry 4.0 assessment that we'll deliver. It's 2 parts to it. There's a pre-survey that goes out to you for you to disseminate to others in your company. And then once that pre-survey is done, then we come on site for interviews, tour, and assessment in order to help us develop kind of that strategic technology transformation roadmap. And then we take that information that we've established based on all this communication with your company and a high level view of where you want to be down the road. And we hone in on these projects that we identify. We do a bit of technology scouting so that we can create a roadmap for you through technical integration. Now, Boost Mississippi does not have enough funding to help every company with all of the projects that are on that roadmap, but we can help you with 1 or 2 to get you started. And that's the intent of this. We want to leave behind the knowledge to actually work through these type of technology projects. You know, how do you calculate the ROI? How do you identify the level of effort? And how do you establish kind of your roadmap for the future? And so we want to leave that behind. And so our intention is to walk with us through these 1 or 2 projects. And then you're at a point where then you can start to execute, but we're still here if you need us at that point. So that's one thing that's very important to that. The implementation phase. So out of the selection phase, we'll select, 1 or 2 projects that are going to be the focus of the Boost Mississippi grants, and we'll help you facilitate that. As we've mentioned before, there's no capital associated with this grant, but if you're a company that can absorb, excuse me, the capital that's associated with the project, we'd be happy to help you with the implementation portion of that, any RFQs for equipment, bid reviews, all of that whole process, we would be with you along that process. However, we do understand that capital is key. And so if you're not at that point, there's a number of other projects that we could probably move forward with that don't require capital. And we can have those conversations with you on an individual basis. And then the last part of this is training and development, because as we go and step through, these 3 phases above, it's going to be key that we have developed people at your companies that are able to grasp these thoughts, grasp these activities, and move forward with them. So we want to make sure that those individuals are trained and have the necessary knowledge that they need in order to keep you going throughout this journey. What you'll see on the right-hand side as you look at each of all these phases is the coverage by the grant. So assessments are covered at 100%. The selection phase and the implementation phase is covered at 75%. And then the training and development is covered at 100%. So it was our intent to roll out a program that was heavily funded by the grant, but still had some level of cost share and commitment from the companies. So that's the explanation behind kind of those phases. This gives you just a sense of the Industry 4.0 assessment. So it's a broad assessment that we deliver, and it's intended to really understand your company culture, your leadership and thoughts about the future, the potential growth that you see in your company, your fundamental operations of how you're doing business, and the strategy that you have for your company, and understanding all of that within the context of the assessment so we can understand where you are right now, where we see you going, and then also matching that to where you want to be. And so again, we'll give you more information about those assessments as we move along. Then the last part of at least my portion of this is to talk about training. And I'll show a little bit more of this as we go into the lightning talks, but we've narrowed down, we deliver a lot of training. We deliver some more traditional type manufacturing training as well. But we want to focus here on technology training. And so what you're seeing on the screen is existing and new training that's being planned that hits in a lot of these technology areas. So as we go and talk about our website later on, I'll be able to show you where we can register for these classes. In addition to that, as we work with you, we'll be kind of establishing your own customized program that could involve training that's provided by CAVS Extension or Northeast Community College or East Miss Community College. So all of those partners are involved with this, with some of the backing that we have behind the AIM Up labs that have been stood up at both of those community college locations. So we want to marry the technical assistance portion of this with the upskilling that's going to be needed for your employees in order to continue this execution path. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Billy Peacock, and he's going to talk a lot about the technology transformation roadmaps.
Yeah, thanks, Tanya. Good morning, everybody. So, by the midpoint of the automation assessment, we'll start looking at what's the business objective. Well, early on, we're looking at the business objective, trying to understand what's the business need. The assessment, the purpose of the assessment is to understand the current condition or current state of the company with respect to Industry 4.0, and then also the desired state. I mean, where does the company see itself in the next few years? And then, with some input from our team, where can the company be with regard to how do we handle data? Are we manually collecting data? Or we would like to have that automatically collected. How do we make decisions based on that data? Or is the data visualized, or is it limited on who has access to it? It's just, where are we now, and where do we want to be? So we'll understand that with respect to the business objectives, and then from that, okay, what can we do to get there? What technology is available? Are there some projects that we can identify that we can do? And those projects, like Tanya was mentioning, they could be projects that we could lead. They're projects that other companies could do. They may be data-driven projects. They may be capital-driven projects. And so this initiative project phase, we'll look at that. And then from there, if we make it through, project makes it through that phase, then we're looking at, what's the impact to the company? And what's the level of effort involved to make it happen? We're looking at a quality improvement, productivity increase. Of course, we want to drive, productivity improvements through the grant, but, safety and quality is also a factor of that. We can do, improved quality is directly correlated with improved productivity. And then as we understand the impacts and the level of effort, now we can assign a priority to it, and we can help with that in the roadmap. There's some stuff that we want to do right now. It's not really much thought about it. It's low level of effort, high impact. Let's get on with it. There's some projects later that may require some capital or some other decisions that have higher effort involved. And so we may identify those for next, or maybe there's something that has to be done now in order for that next to happen. And then, larger capital items we may have to be included in the budget. So there's a cycle that has to happen there, and we want to plan for those in the future. So what that may look like directly from our assessment report to help make those decisions. If you look at this quad chart on the left-hand side, you look at the opportunity based on where we are, as I talked about, and then where we want to go. The gap there becomes our opportunity, and so we score the potential projects or activities on level of effort, and then on the bottom axis, we see the opportunity on the left axis. On the bottom axis, we see the level of effort involved, and so as we graph that, the easy wins show up in the top right-hand corner. So those projects are ones that are a big opportunity. And so opportunity may look like right now, everything data collection is completely manual, so that we're writing it on notepads. Somebody's collecting it, maybe entering the data into the system, or maybe not entered in the system at all. And so you just have to go and look at a notepad to see that data. And where we want to be, maybe as a part of the process itself collects the data. And so then that data can be displayed and we can make quick decisions and more accurate decisions based on the data. So maybe there's a large gap or large opportunity in where we currently are and where we want to be. And then we look at the level of effort of that. So maybe that's a project that, based on the company's situation, the amount of effort involved is fairly low. And so then we'd score that as a 5, and that would plot itself on the easy win. The last portion is, what impact, overall impact to the company, and that becomes the size of the bubble. So in this case, you see the data-driven decision, this example has a really large bubble and it's in the easy win. So that's something that we would want to prioritize in the next phase. So, all right, Tanya, progress to the next slide. So now we can take those initiatives that we've identified and say, okay, what do we want to do? Look at the digital data collection. So we say, okay, what's the impact to the company? It reduces data gathering time and effort. It improves the visibility of the data, so we can make better decisions. So what can we do now? And we break that down in those 3 bullet points, and then next, and then in the future. And so, in this example, we've identified 3 different initiatives. So Tanya, will move on. And so that's kind of like the high-level strategic side. And if we move to the next slide, we can see a more detailed rollout showing still the now, next, and future of the projects. And a couple things we show on this slide is the sequence, number 1, and number 2, you see the Mississippi State logo. Those are the projects that we feel like we're well situated to support. And the item 1 and 2 with the star, we would identify as projects that the grant actually provides the funding for. So that kind of gives you, and then as Tanya was talking about before, even the future projects like items 6 and 7 may be something the grant, we can connect with, integrate, or support in some way. But I think that gives the summary of the roadmaps and what we would deliver. Did I miss anything in a minute?
Billy, I would just add that the stars that Billy has for 1 and 2, you can see the descriptions at the bottom. Those are just examples that you're not just limited to data analysis and data-driven decisions. That's just examples of ones that would be kind of included in there.
And, I'd add that, the early on projects are the ones the purpose of the, grant is to drive activity, and we are going to really want to make a difference for the company early on. And so we're going to work to, support those early projects so we can have quick impacts.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Thank you, Billy. All right, now we'll move into the lightning talks. So as we mentioned a little bit earlier, we're bringing together some partnerships here. So MMA, MEP, Accelerate Mississippi, CABS Extension, as well as Northeast and East Mississippi Community Colleges and the AIM-UP program. So we wanted to give kind of all the partners an opportunity to talk about the training that's being offered, really more about their part in this collaborative effort. So as we talk, if y'all don't mind, as you take the stage, if each one will start out with just a brief introduction about yourself, and then talk about your part in this training venture that we're undertaking as a part of Boost Mississippi. And I'll start with Abigail.
Hi, my name is Abigail Barnes. I'm the program manager here at MMA MEP. I work with Sandy Christ, who you heard from earlier. I'll be helping the MSU CABS team oversee the grant.
All right, thank you, Abigail. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to, myself. So I'm just going to add a little bit. I wanted to show everybody our website and talk through and show you guys, what we intend for as we approach this grant. So this is the website. There were QR codes kind of throughout the presentation. We'll show one at the end. This directs you to the Boost Mississippi website, where you can take a look at all of the opportunities that are on here, have a better understanding of the program itself, the counties that are covered, but more so in the bottom, this will be the training hub for us. So what you see right now are just the CAVS extension offerings that are in kind of this technology area, along with some of the new offerings that will be coming probably around the spring and summer of next year. The plan is to coordinate with East Miss Community College and Northeast and have links to their training that aligns with some of the things that we think are going to come out of this program. So over time, you'll see this populating with connections to their website so you can register and sign up for training as well. You'll see us approach this as a integrated unit. So as we're doing Industry 4.0 assessments, the community colleges definitely in your area are going to be invited to be a part of that so that we can start those conversations early about your training needs. So we're really looking forward to the opportunity to really dive into the possibilities and also understand maybe the things that we're not covering on training that might be needed. And so that's why there's the opportunity for more customized plans. So what you see here is not just, what's available. We have the opportunity to, as we go in and evaluate your systems, to understand where you might have more training needs that are important to you. So want to make sure that you know that, as we come to the table and start to have some more discussions about this. With that, I'm going to flip back over to the slide and turn it over to Ray Hollis.
Yeah, so as Tanya said, I'm Ray Hollis. I'm a workforce project manager with Accelerate Mississippi. And as you heard Tanya allude to earlier, special projects and things like that Accelerate is funded has put a lot of this equipment in place, to really make this initiative possible and to really capitalize on the funds. But through this initiative, Accelerate Mississippi is going to, aid and provide in some of the training funds needed to train these individuals as this plans out. The goal is to advance, manufacturing in the state of Mississippi, right? To take these companies that may be small and mid-cap, and if they're looking for expansion through these automation techniques, through the 4.0, it may increase their reach. It may increase their capacity. So, Accelerate's always on board with doing that. That is the goal, right? Is to aid the state of Mississippi to advance technologies, to provide high-wage jobs in the state, but you need the training that goes along with it. So supporting that is really critical through this. So role in working through this is just to make sure that those connections are being made and to aid and support where possible.
All right. Thanks, Ray. We appreciate it. Is Joe Cook on the line?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
All right, Joe, I'm going to turn it over to you just to talk a few minutes about our collaboration efforts.
Okay, I'm Joe Cook. I'm the workforce director at East Mississippi Community College. Our workforce division is designated as a Center for Manufacturing Technology Excellence. That led to us building the Communiversity to add to our ability to deliver training for business and industry. Within the Communiversity, we do have spaces that Accelerate has helped develop for us. Our manufacturing, advanced manufacturing areas are aerospace, manufacturing, healthcare. We deliver training across all different aspects. But talking with the partnership, we have the MAC Training Center here, the Mississippi Advanced Composites Training Center here, and we partner with MSU so that we can serve our area businesses and they can also serve statewide area businesses. We also house the AIM Up Lab here. We work with CAVS. CAVS actually has offices in the Communiversity. So we have a great partnership. I think we complement each other in all these areas, and we're here to serve business and industry.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. Next, we're going to have Morgan.
Hey, I'm Morgan Fisher. Excuse me. I'm Morgan Fisher, Director of Advanced Manufacturing. I work in the Workforce Development Division here at Northeast Mississippi Community College, and my main role, along with that, it encompasses MMA MEP Director. I'm the point of contact here in this part of the state. Aerospace training, composites, and AIM-UP director, as well as anything else involving manufacturing. But my main role is to interface with the industry to find out exactly what they're needing in terms of training and support, and then doing everything we can as far as, there we go, as far as working with Accelerate and getting grants and programs put in place. And as AIM-UP director, I'm very, very excited about this Boost Mississippi opportunity for our area manufacturers, because we already had the technology in our labs to be able to train folks and to show them what's out there and how much more efficient they can be and make themselves more valuable in terms of the companies in our area. But now with this Boost Mississippi grant, I really think this is going to really be able to be a catalyst to help, not only help bring more training to our AIM-UP facilities, but most importantly, help our small to medium manufacturers by providing this engineering support that they so desperately need to remain valuable and profitable in this economy. Thank you.
All right, Morgan, thank you very much for that. And as we transition to kind of the last speaker in the lightning talk, Carver Middleton. Carver, I'm bringing up your presentation slide, so feel free to get started when you're ready.
Thanks, Tanya, and good morning to everybody on the call here. Little background about myself, Carver Middleton. I'm a research engineer here at Mississippi State University and program lead for the Advancements in Manufacturing Upskilling program. Just a background on the program for those who aren't familiar. This is an initiative that started about two and a half years ago by Mississippi State University to build out advanced manufacturing training infrastructure across the state of Mississippi to prepare for workforce training opportunities serving our incumbent and future manufacturing employers in the state of Mississippi. And we've been busy over that last 2.5 years. You can see building out 5 locations across the state, strategically located based on guidance from Accelerate Mississippi and what incumbent industries there and future industry coming to the state. And so these labs reflect some of the most advanced technologies in robotics and automation, available for training, and then some other relevant technologies that apply across the state are things like robotic welding, metals-based additive, and other automation technology. Essentially, what you have in this partnership from a broader level is a 4-year academic university who's kind of on the cutting edge of research and development that is strategically partnering with community colleges to develop curriculum so that technology can transfer into actual workforce training quicker. Typically, we say there's a 10-year gap between research and development and actual application, and we're trying to use this partnership between Mississippi State and local community colleges to shrink that time horizon down a little bit. Just some general program growth, 40% increase in training infrastructure, adding our 2 new locations at Northwest Community College as well as Hines Community College. Those 2 locations will come on board sometime, hopefully early next year. Lots of individuals exposed to advanced manufacturing. We offer workshops for engineering students to upskill those individuals as well. Several exposure and hands-on opportunities for K through 12. And like I mentioned, we have curricula developed, and if you want to learn more about the program, definitely check out our new website, aimupms.org, for more information there. But you can see AIM-UP is really addressing each level of the workforce pipeline, all the way from K through 12 to incumbent workers. And then you can kind of see on the right side, where those locations are. And all this effort's funded by Accelerate Mississippi and federal program partners from DOD and DOL, Department of Labor. Next slide, Tanya. High-level overview of the technologies that we have in the lab. A lot of robotics and automation, as I mentioned. So you'll see things from collaborative and industrial robots to mobile robot technology. But again, at a high level, what this reflects is something as fundamental as robot operation, all the way up to what I would call the pinnacle of advanced manufacturing training and education being systems integration with our connected smart manufacturing assembly line, which to us, this reflects, if someone walks into a manufacturing facility, this is likely what they're going to see. It's going to be, the robot communicating with other types of technology. And you have to think about the holistic system rather than just the individual pieces. Next slide, Tanya. So here's probably the most relevant aspect for our industry partners on the call, and these are the training opportunities that are available. There's really 3 ways that industry benefits from this program. One is these centers serve as what we call showcase centers. So for those who don't know about robotics and automation, they serve as a place to come and see these technologies in action. We always say you can't just go to Walmart and shop down the robot aisle, but you can go to a local AIM-UP center and check out the technologies in action. And then we have 2 training opportunities. One that's focused on short form, quick exposure. It's very application driven, being our workshops. So just kind of getting you familiar with technologies and introduced to technologies in a 4 to 8 hour time period. And one thing I wanted to mention with those workshops is those are extended to our engineering students here at Mississippi State University. And so we offer digital badges for workshop completers. So more importantly for those engineering students as far as acquiring jobs, but we issue those to reflect the skills that are gained for those individuals as they're looking for careers potentially at your companies once they graduate. And then really what we're working on now and trying to build out for the program are our industry recognized trainings. And Tanya mentioned it earlier, but CAVS Extension's been a huge partner in this initiative, helping us launch our first industry training coming up December 2nd through 4th at their location in Canton, Mississippi for collaborative robot operations and programming. But the end goal is to continue offering this industry training here in the state instead of having to travel outside of the state, to Michigan or somewhere like that to receive this training. And so some other curriculum that's coming soon is industrial robot training for FANUC as well. And then things that we're considering and hoping to bring forward would be things like vision training. Our labs allow us to train for 2D and 3D vision, as well as we have those autonomous mobile robots, and then robotic welding is something else that we're looking into. So again, currently available is the collaborative robot training, but we're hoping to have these others available soon as we grow this and roll it out across all our locations. So, but that's an overview, and this is kind of hitting on the training aspect. As companies on the call adopt these technologies, we're here as a resource. And now that we have locations across the state, hopefully there's someone right in your backyard that can help you to upskill your workforce on these technologies. So thank you again, Tanya and Sandy, for having us and letting us highlight the program.
All right. Sounds good, Carver. Thank you so much. So we'll transition real quick back to our slide deck and do a little bit of wrap up. So Sandy, I'm going to turn it over to you for the call to action.
Well, and as I mentioned, and thank you everybody that's presented today. It's a great job. Really excited about this program. But one of the things that we have trouble with is getting to the right people at manufacturers. And so we're excited to see the number of partners, economic developers on this call, because you are direct contact in your community to these manufacturers. And we would like for you to help us communicate the opportunity that we have through the Boost Mississippi pilot. We think that we work with a lot of companies across the state. We know that we are not working with all of the small and medium companies that could participate and take advantage of this program. So we ask that you help us communicate and promote this program so that we can get some new folks in here who can really take advantage of this this pilot. Again, it's not just a pilot, it's a proof of concept. We want to use this so that we can get future funding for this program, and we can open it up to everybody across the state. You can contact Tanya McCall for more information. There's a QR code on here. You can click on that QR code. It will take you directly to the website. And I think there's a form you can fill out on there that to request more information so that Tanya can reach out and her team can reach out directly to you. We truly appreciate you participating in this webinar today, and we open the floor up to any questions. Tanya, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay. So as Sandy mentioned, there will be an interest form that's coming shortly. You'll see posts go out on social media encouraging business to sign up. It is first come, first serve. I will say that we have a lot of great partners that wrote letters of support. And so we definitely want those companies to engage, as well as some of the other companies that are on this call. So again, first come, first serve. We're going to try to do our best to meet these deliverables that we have. So we've got about 2 years to hit about 25 companies. And it's our intent to walk away from each of those companies, leaving you with more information about technology, more insight in how you integrate it, and the skills needed for you to move forward. So we're really looking forward to kicking off this program, and hopefully you all share in our excitement with it this morning as well. So with that, I don't see any questions in the Q&A unless I'm missing any, but feel free to come off your mic, open up your camera, and ask any questions at this time, and any of our team will jump on and help answer them. You can't tell me that we did our job so fantastic that there are no questions.
No, I do have one question. Hi, this is Ray Williams at In Situ Forum in Batesville. And so I guess my understanding is if I want you guys to come in and start to do an assessment, just simply reach out, or is it just that simple? Okay.
It is. There's some portions of it. Sandy mentioned about eligibility, so it's making sure your location is in the county, and we know y'all are on that list, that your number of employees is 500 and less. And then there's probably going to be some discussions just about some agreement. The risk for us is, you start the assessment process, and the grant pays for 25 assessments, and we start that process, and then the company for some reason pulls out. Well, that's one less company, that we will deliver as part of this grant. So we want to talk about and make sure that we are all on board at the very outset with an understanding of seeing this program through and what all the details will include.
I was like kind of halfway listening. I got about 20 minutes into it, and then I started halfway listening to it.
Maybe we need to mute Mark. Okay. Ray, any other questions?
No, that was the only question. I am interested, but I'll talk to our HR team here first. But yeah, I definitely want to reach out to the team and see if there's some things, because we are in that sort of phase of wanting to move towards Industry 4.0. We do have a lot of manual processes. I know there are other efforts that go on throughout the company, but I would like to touch bases with you guys.
Okay. Sounds good. Definitely. Just feel free to reach out.
Okay.
All
Any
right.
other questions?
I think I saw a question in the chat. So the question from Jim is, are these CAVS workshops going to be virtual and free of charge? So they are offered at no cost. They are not virtual. There are some virtual options that we're looking at for next year, especially relating to some of the Microsoft Power Platform like Power BI and Power App and Power Automate. But most of our classes are in person. The good thing is through our partnership with EMCC, most of those classes can also be offered at the community, which depending on where your company is located, that gives you at least less of a drive. So we are trying to make sure that happens. There's also ways for us to partner with Northeast as well and have classes that are delivered up there if there's a need and desire by a number of companies in that area.
Hey, Tanya, this is Thomas Tate from Indy Defense, and I've got a question regarding flow time. Do you know how long it takes for the average assessment to take?
So I'm going to let Billy handle that question.
Yeah, it depends. What we've seen is very dependent on the client. It requires coordinating with the company and on-site visits, et cetera. I would expect 2 months probably. Could
Okay.
be, much longer depending on, like I said, engagement from the client. And we've got to coordinate several people's schedules and that sort of thing.
Sure. Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Just to add to that, one of the important aspects of the assessment is part of that upfront pre-survey that comes from the company. We ask that, it's not just you filling out that survey, but others in the company as well, kind of giving their insight as far as technology and culture and leadership. And
Sure.
sometimes that is an area where there's a lag at the beginning. So if you can quickly, have your teams actually answer those portions of the survey, that reduces some of that upfront time that we usually spend, delaying. And I'll be honest and say, we've had some companies where, one example, we might have started that whole process, in April, and they didn't finish, any of the surveys until June, July. So that portion of it can go as fast as you want it to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the actual survey time is like 15, 20 minutes, depending on, how much you think about it.
Yeah, the only reason why I asked is, manufacturing moves fast. So we've got a couple initiatives that we're looking at to automate in our electronics manufacturing area. And so, I'm just looking at the timeline of when I can do the cutover. I mean, I've got some ideas on how to improve it, but I don't have all the details that you guys are offering. So just trying to stage what we have coming in front of us and what that timeline looks like. But that works. That makes sense.
And so it gives me an opportunity to speak to, the fact that we're a university and, our university's timelines are typically different than industry timelines. But, our team we all come out of industry, so we definitely understand that, industry needs are now. And, next week the needs to be different. So we need to act quickly and respond. So, the timeline, it kind of, as I was talking about, timeline really depends on the feedback from the company and the importance. So if it's something that's important to you, we'll sense that level of importance, and of course we'll make it a priority, likewise.
Okay. Terrific. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. Any other questions?
Hey, Tanya, could you speak to, regarding this project, if most of the actual assistance is going to be technology related, or if there's maybe some business process assistance as well?
Yeah, so it will include all of that. We look at, the day-to-day operations of manufacturing is not necessarily just all in, what's going down the floor or going down the production line, but all of those systems that feed into that. So we mentioned some tools like Power BI, but more specifically, Power Automate, Power Apps. There are specific ways that we can put things in place to help improve the efficiency of some of your business processes as well. So that is going to be a vital key to a lot of the improvement, as well as a kind of a low-cost way to actually just start this technology integration. And with tools like that, we also have the classes that are coming. Power BI is already something we deliver to help do some of the visual dashboards that you may want or actually have across your plant environments. But Power Automate and Power Apps, those classes are coming in spring of next year. And just to give you an example of that, there's a lot of paper, of course, that's created in the manufacturing environment. One project that we've had to do with quality defects and picking up and understanding those defects and being able to get them into a system where it is captured, not on paper, but an electronic system. And so we created an app that individuals used on the floor with tablets in order to enter data associated with quality defects. And after entering into that app, it went through a workflow, and that's what Power Automate is for that particular defect and all the data to now be pushed on to the next person in line, quality manager, to review the information, add any additional details, and then push that through a flow for approval. So again, if you're very paper-based, then there's a lot of opportunity, to kick this off really quickly with some of those tools that our team has experience in. So, Carver, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, thanks, Tanya.
All right, last chance. Any more questions?
Well,
All right,
please.
well, go ahead,
I was
Sandy.
gonna say, please don't hesitate to reach out to Tanya and her team. If you have any more questions or if you have referrals to some of your companies, we look forward to working with companies in the ARC region and appreciate you coming to the webinar today. So.
Mhm. Yeah. So I'll just add on to that. Thank you so much. I think we had at most maybe 49, 50 people on the call that took an hour out of your time. And I know your time is precious. And so we appreciated that this morning. And again, we're available for any follow-up. So feel free to reach out to us. Again, you'll see some information on social media about signing up through an interest form so that we can go ahead and get all the companies in a queue and start to work with them through this process. And thanks very much to ARC for the funding, MMA, MEP for helping us drive this program, and for Accelerate Mississippi and providing a lot of the support that's needed for the training. So we look forward to kicking this off, and thank you all very much. Have a good day.